Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Where does everybody go to learn things online? I mean, obviously there are places like YouTube, Wikipedia, and various other sites. I know some people come to our chat room at live.pirillo.com if they've got some questions about hardware, software, the internet. We're typically talking tech over there. I've got an email here from Brian, and it's interesting because Brian says he's been watching our videos on YouTube for a few months now, and he says, I'd like to join the community, but I can't visit live.pirillo.com from China. And he says, I'm sorry for my poor English skills. Well, I'm sorry that you're not able to view our live video. Maybe at some point in the future you will be able to. Brian notes he's been learning Java for about a year now, and he's got some tips for learning computer programming. It might work for other things too, and I do think the tips that he has can certainly be applied to learning in general. Number one, learn how to use the help or the guide. The first thing you should master when learning is the skill of using the help. It is so much easier to find something you need on your own than asking others for help. It's true, and you're more likely to remember those solutions that you find if you went through the process of finding the solution yourself. I kind of laughed the other day when I got an email, probably should have saved it for posterity, an email from a kid, and it was obviously a kid. He had a list of 29 points of questions that he wanted me to answer on software and hardware and user interfaces, just like the list went on. And at the end, he signed off with a sense of urgency, saying, please hurry, my term paper's due next week, and I'd really like to find the answers, and I need your help, signed Bob, or whatever his name was. And I kind of laughed. I'm like, dude, and I responded. I did. I almost deleted it, but I responded and said, it's called Google, and I signed off. And, hey, if that was just a jerk kind of remark, well, he was as much of a jerk to ask me to do his job for him. I'm not his research assistant. I'm not your research assistant. I will do what I can to help and to connect you with answers and help, but I'm not going to do the work for you. If the answer is fully visible on, at least a search engine, then certainly you can do that part of the research. Now there are questions that are subject to various opinions and discussion, and those are different kinds of questions. But generally speaking, you gotta, if you just, and I'm guilty of the same problem. I don't RTFM all the time. Sometimes it's easier to just ask it aloud in chat. Now it's great because I'll have a problem. I'll say, oh crap, how do I do this? Blah, 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 and I'll say it aloud, and pretty soon I'll get an email saying, hey Chris, I heard you say this. This is what you do. Like, oh, that's the answer. So I'm very grateful that there's a community of people who want to help other people. But when you're trying to learn, you're better off learning on your own. And anyway. Number two, trust books, but have your own mind. When you feel the book isn't right, you should do research rather than saying, oh, whatever. Nobody's perfect, so authors could be wrong sometimes. That's very true, and the same could be said about any online resource for information. Number three, use the tools. When you're learning, always use the tools that can help you most, such as don't use a notepad for programming, use an IDE, because it'll make your life easier, an integrated tool set, if you will. It will also make your debugging easier if you make a mistake. And don't use it as any tool. Find the one that is right for you or the language if you happen to be programming, and he notes that he's using Eclipse for Java. Number four, take a rest. When you learn two or three new things, take a rest and think about what you have learned. It'll be more effective this way. And what he means by that, if I listed, let's say, 20 numbers, if I read them aloud, you would likely remember the first couple and the last couple, but everything in between would be just all mashed together. It's just the way our mind works. Now, if you're looking to take more breaks throughout the day, I just learned of a software that you can download for either Mac or Windows, and it's called Pzizz, PZIZZ.com, and other people had heard about it before, but I had not. But apparently it is the bee's knees in terms of helping you take breaks more regularly throughout the day, because apparently that will help you stay energized. I probably need to get into the Pzizz thing. I don't know. It's a good way to take breaks, though. I mean, who doesn't look forward to a nap anymore? I love power naps. Unfortunately, my power naps turn into marathon naps. Very powerful that way. Number five, don't research immediately. If you find something in the book that you don't understand, don't go research it immediately. Read the rest of the article or the book, and then if you still don't understand, then do the research. Context is important. And he also throws in a bonus tip, always read twice. If you can, always read an article or a book twice. I always learn a lot of things the second time I read the book or article. And I have to note this as an English major. Now, he says, I'm sorry for my poor English skills because he's from China. But Brian, if you are hearing this on YouTube, you have done something here in this last sentence in your tips that most people who live in America can't do. And that is separating the word a from the word lot. He actually, I always learn a lot of things. He's right. He's absolutely right. There's a space between a lot right there. Oh, it's not one word. It's not a lot. In which case it would be A-L-L-O-T, and that would mean something entirely different. So congratulations, as someone from China, you have a better grasp on the English language than most people who speak English here in America. So I'm very grateful for your support, even though you're not able to join us in our chat room. Maybe at some point in the future, though, maybe you'll be able to get through, and we'd love to have you here. But even so, that's why we record a lot of the videos and put them on YouTube, because we know the world can come and find us on YouTube. And anyway, I'm not dogging you. I'm not dogging you. I'm just saying. It's true. I mean, it's true. For some reason, people can't get it through their heads that a lot is 2 words. And some guy in China, who doesn't even speak English all that well, according to him, understands that there's a space between the word a, or an article a, and the word lot. Oh, great. Thanks, Nyrate. I appreciate you proving my point. No matter, if anybody else out there has got some learning tips, education tips, what have you, don't take, my admonishment of, people slaughtering the English language, which I've been known to do on occasion, especially at, 4 in the morning. Anyway, my email address is chris@pirillo.com if you got any other tips to pass along. Now, typically we're talking tech. He's learning to be a computer programmer. I'm assuming there are a lot of geeks in the audience right now. It's not just me who's alone. I'm doing this stuff live every day, 24 hours a day. Typically talking tech, software, hardware, internet help, and whatnot. And you never really know what these chatters are going to say. Usually they're pretty well behaved, and we are hoping that if you stop by our chat room, you'll be well behaved as well. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, but we'd love to hear from you. Just feel free to stop by the website anytime, day or night. Right now, as a matter of fact, as soon as you stop watching this video, why don't you stop by? We're at one place and one place alone, and that's live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.